Something we spoke about off camera and asked you subconsciously, because of what happened in the second fight and in reference to Mark Breland specifically, is it in your head, does it cloud your judgment about kind of where Deontay is in the fight? And I'll just repeat kind of what you said to me, with the risk of a fallout, because we saw kind of the situation that happened with Breland and Wilder, and you said to me, Mark and Deontay isn't me and Deontay, it's in you and Deontay. Your relationships are completely different. So it's not a case of you guys fall out and never speak again if you were to have pulled him out, if he was in a position to be pulled out.
Yeah, that'll never happen. Me and Deontay would never fall out and never speak again. Our bond is too tight. As far as with him and Mark, they never had a relationship. Deontay and Mark never talked for more than 5 minutes on a phone call. Mark and Deontay never took a walk to a corner store. They didn't have no type of dialogue at all besides in the gym. And what did that do, Coog?
Those are the words of Malik Scott as he differentiates the relationship between himself and Wilder and Mark Breland. Well, you guys just heard Malik Scott say that Wilder and Mark didn't have any relationship. They never talked more than 5 minutes. They never went to a corner store together. Those are the words of Malik Scott. Well, that's strange. That's real strange to me. You know why? Because if these guys never went or never talked more than 5 minutes, never went to a corner store, why was Mark Breland there for Deontay Wilder's first child to be born? Counterpunch. See, that's strange. Now, I know people exaggerate things up until this point. Malik Scott has said something. Maybe he said something that I didn't know. But I know Mark Breland has been around Deontay Wilder a long time, and I'll be damned that is the case. Okay, I don't think, based on what I'm hearing that him and Mark Breland didn't have a good relationship or didn't really have a relationship. Okay, that's the big thing. Now it would be different if Malik would have said, you know what, we don't have a type of relationship that deals with personal matters or things outside the ring matter. None of that. But that is not the case. When you have a child, or whoever he had that child with, right? His significant other at the time, and Mark Breland was there, that means a lot. That means a hell of a lot. If someone came to see, I only have one child, and everyone that was there meant something to me. And it was damn sure wasn't somebody I just work with on a professional level. That's why I'm finding it hard to really understand, like, yo, what's really going on? And why did he say what he just said? It would be different if, it wasn't that good. I think this. I think that Malik Scott is trying to exaggerate the relationship not exaggerate this relationship. I think he's trying to downplay the relationship that Wilder and Mark Breland actually had. I think that they didn't have the best relationship, but they had a relationship. Because you don't bring nobody to your hospital when your child is born if you didn't give a shit about them, if you don't talk more than 5 minutes with them. I think at one point that it got like that later on. But I don't think it started like that. So maybe Malik came around, because how long was Malik around? What, about 4 or 5 years? Maybe in those 4 or 5 years when Deontay Wilder was starting to consider and Shelly Finkel was starting to open the door and open the idea of Wilder fighting better opposition, maybe he at that point came around and witnessed that all that bullshit that started to happen in the camp of the sabotaging and the refusal to train Wilder like the people wanted him to. I think that's what he ran into. But for him to say, oh, well, man, they didn't have no type of relationship, I think that's bullshit, because there's a lot of relationships that can deteriorate. Okay? They can crumble down to nothing. Okay? They can do that. That could easily happen with people, because it's a situation where, look, you're at a point in your life, you're like, hey, you're with a trainer. you get better, you get success. That trainer wants you to do something you don't want to do. You know what I mean? And then you got this other trainer, like you had JD's there, trying to tell Mark Breland, don't make him do these certain things. He got this, he got that, D's got it. He got the launcher, the rocket launcher, the Alabama sledgehammer right hand. He doesn't need to be trained any way or any more than he's being trained right now. Okay? Wilder said it himself, I got away with a lot. And I think that was around the time Malik Scott came in and witnessed they don't really have a good relationship. So before I call Malik Scott a liar, I think Malik Scott wasn't around the full time or the full term of those guys knowing each other to know what type of relationship they actually had. That's what I believe with that. But for him to say, oh, they didn't have any, I think that's rather tactless because he needs to consider the years before he came into the picture. Counterpunch. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Malik Scott's comments that Mark Breland and Deontay Wilder did not have a relationship outside the gym. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.